Hello everyone, and welcome to my Q&A. Today, I will be answering your questions. So with that said, let's get started. First question comes from Elysium, and he asks what new mode should they add. I've previously mentioned an idea of a world tour game mode, where you essentially travel through the world, playing against 10 characters in each continent. If you guys remember the mega competition All Stars, I made a challenge out of this, where each player had a continent, with 10 players to play against, and whoever got the highest score overall, would win. Next two questions come from Vukazin, and he asks how did I get into head soccer, and if I'm okay with the haters. So I got into head soccer after watching my friends playing it. I've always been a fan of games where you can unlock a lot of things and be able to play with a wide variety of characters, especially head soccer, which is about my favorite sport. Now to the second question. I've always been okay with the haters. It's the haters that have never been okay with me. I find the best solution in simply ignoring them and giving more attention to the people who like my channel. Whether if they hate me because they assume I make certain videos with bad intentions in trying to make more views, or if they hate me because they can't respect the opinions I share about certain aspects of head soccer, this lack of maturity is something that is best left alone. Now we have Shadow, who wants to know if I have ever considered making videos for other games, and if so, could I name them? I have actually made videos of other games in the past, namely Dream League Soccer, back when it was still a good game, but I ended up deleting those videos because the main spotlight of my channel is head soccer, and head basketball works as a spin-off for whenever new updates arrive. Next question comes from Kaboljo, who wants to know my thoughts about the future of D&D Dream, and if should they focus on head soccer or stop updating the game altogether. Honestly, I don't think it's a good decision to stop if you have the chance to still add new stuff to the game. Even if we now have to wait a little longer for new updates to arrive, I still think we should appreciate the fact that after almost 12 years, they are still giving us new content. So my final answer is that they should continue updating head soccer. Next question comes from this user, who wants to know if I have stopped playing head basketball or if I still play the game. Currently, I don't play head basketball anymore. I will still make videos unlocking new characters, if any, but other than that, I have stopped playing head basketball. Next up is Ilvulcus, who wants to know what do I think of D&D Dream as a dev team, and if I think they will revive head soccer one day. It's hard for me to answer the first question, but I will say that D&D Dream gets too much hate as a dev team, simply because new updates for head soccer take a long time to be released. As I mentioned on the other question, I think we should all be thankful that D&D Dream is still updating head soccer after all these years. Now to the second question. I don't think there is a way to revive head soccer, but I guess the best attempt would be for them to release a new game mode, because we're definitely needing a new and fresh experience in this game. The next two questions come from Pedro Frank, and he wants to know what I think of head basketball, and how does it compare to head soccer, and if I have hope that online will be fixed. So head basketball is a decent game that focuses more on upgrading your characters individually, which is an interesting feature. It's definitely more balanced than head soccer, but I personally think the ability shots don't make too much of an impact during matches, as much as the power shots do in head soccer matches. Now to the second question. I would love to see multiplayer working in both head soccer and head basketball, but just based on their previous attempts at fixing the mode, I don't think they will be able to make it work properly. Now we have two questions from Koala King Plays. The first question is about what I think will happen to head soccer after it receives its 100th character. Quite honestly, I don't even know if we'll be able to reach 100 characters. Many people look at the character display screen and say that once it reaches 98, the game will officially end, but of course that's a very vague assumption, and I'm sure D&D Dream will try to find a way to update that screen once we get more than 98 characters. Now to the question itself. I honestly don't know if they'll do anything in the first place. It would be nice if they did something to celebrate their 100th character, but I have no idea if that will happen. Now to the second question. He says that for the head basketball tier list video, There was a poll that had Head Basketball Mega Competition 3 as a category. He wants to know which 5 characters would I automatically add to the cast if it was chosen. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't even remember this being an option because a Head Basketball Mega Competition is practically impossible to work. There would have to be an overall balance not only between the competitors' levels, but also on the CPUs, whose levels will always be different, even if we try to find a match against them in leagues. Next questions come from Ricky, and he wants to know if I have ever played multiplayer in both Head Soccer and Head Basketball, and what do I think about the game mode. I haven't touched the multiplayer mode in ages, but I have played it before in both games. I don't really think it's that good, for obvious reasons. This next user wants to know what would I do to Head Soccer if I ran D&D Dream for a day. That's obvious. I would beat the workers up for not releasing an update with 4 characters, 3 costumes, and 1 game mode in 2 months. I'm joking lol. But now seriously, I don't know what would I do. Maybe I would tell them to start working on my idea for a new game mode I talked about on the other question. In the second question, he wants to know my favorite food and drink. My favorite food is lasagna. I love it. And my favorite drink is nothing too special. It's water. Azika wants to know when will the new Head Soccer update arrive and what country do I live in. Well, I don't know when the new update will arrive, but I'm sure it will be a matter of days until it comes out, and I live in Portugal. Next question comes from Sejup Memes, and he wants to know what is a character that is not strong, but I don't like to play against. Maybe this isn't the answer you were expecting, but I'm just gonna have to say Japan. I never like playing against that freaking bastard. Next question comes from Javier Ramirez, and he wants to know how much would I pay D&D Dream to get rid of Boxing and Hennis. For context, Boxing and Hennis are the 2 characters I hate the most in Head Soccer. I wouldn't pay anything. Could you imagine people paying D&D Dream to play with Hennis, and me paying D&D Dream to remove Hennis from the game? Next question comes from Chicken Fingers, who wants to know if I have considered chasing my dream of being the best D&D player in the world. That has never been a dream of mine. I simply play this game, and I share my gameplays on my channel. And the last question comes from James Cash, who wants to know if I have console and what games do I mostly play. I have a Super Nintendo, and when I was younger, I used to play a lot of games such as Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, and other interesting games of the time. I also have a Game Boy Color, where I used to play a game called Wario Land 3. I really loved it as a kid. That concludes the Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.